I want to talk about, I just saw Black Panther. If you follow me on Twitter, I was going crazy about it because I loved every second of it. And, I think I'm like now Namor sexual. I'm going to be straight with it. Like yeah, there's something about that man. And however, I saw it in Aruba and all the subtitles were in Spanish. So I need to go back and see it again because I have no
You
fucking
do
idea
need to
what
see it
happened half
again.
the
There's
time.
so much to say in it. There's so much to talk about with that film.
Well, listen, all they were doing was speaking in a language I couldn't read. So I'm clearly gonna. This is how they get you. This is how they get you. They make you go see it in a language you can't understand, so you have to go see it again. These numbers,
Oh
the
yeah,
blockbuster
completely
numbers, are
inflated.
completely inflated.
Sure, Lisa. Sure.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Anyway, everybody, welcome to Simply Amazing. The best number one, aka top of the charts. I don't know where I was going with that. Top 40, top of the charts. Nightcrawler podcast. Listen, if you want to compare us to other Nightcrawler podcasts, we're like the Taylor Swift of Nightcrawler podcasts. And I say that only because that whole thing just happened with Ticketmaster. People are going crazy for her like they're going crazy for us. There are dozens of us, people. Dozens. And of course, I am Lisa, aka the OG Nocturne. Here we have a very special guest on today. But before we introduce him, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my fabulous co-host, the stunning, the gorgeous, just covered in light and love and curtness. Lauren, tell me about yourself, girl.
Oh, thank you. We did put up our Christmas tree today, so it was very Kurt energy in the
Yay!
house. Yeah, and I've got my little BAMP shirt on. But yeah, I'm Lauren, your friendly neighborhood bye, and I'm super excited to have our guest on today because I think he's bringing to the table a super important topic that I think everybody
Agreed.
kind of talks about here and there, but it's never like brought to the forefront. So I'm super excited to talk about this today.
Oh, absolutely. Lance is here with us, and he found us through our website and submitted a little idea. And if anyone out there wants to submit an idea, let us know. But Lance had an amazing idea to talk about with Kurt. And Lance, take it away. Tell us what you want to talk about.
Well, actually, I did not find you through your website. I found
Never mind.
Lauren. That's okay. At Heroes Con,
It was me.
we were lurking around Patty Cochran, and she noticed that I had a little bit of Nightcrawler poking out from under my shirt, and so I did my sleeve. Wait, is this a kids friendly podcast or not? I should
listen. You're the one married, so you say whatever you want as long as it doesn't,
Okay. All right. Well, I have Nightcrawler on my bicep, so yes. So I showed her my tattoo, and she showed me the website or the podcast and everything on it, and so we were finally able to put something together.
That's awesome. We're so excited about that. We love meeting people in person. I mean, it's not like we're, I'm joking obviously when I call us the Taylor Swift of anything because we're not that big, but it's always cool to kind of like meet people out there and everything. And Lance, you brought up this amazing topic that we're going to talk about today, which is the inconsistencies in Kurt's character. So tell us what made you decide on that, and what do you want to talk about?
So Nightcrawler is my favorite character, as you probably think, given that I have my tattoo. But
so weird.
There's
he's got so few fans. I mean, that's so weird.
But I mean, his origin's a little messed up, and there were just a few things that I wanted to talk about. The first is that if mutants are supposed to, have their powers expressed, or all that happen at adolescence, then how come he comes out and he's blue and fuzzy and immediately has all his abilities?
Yeah, so I want to touch on that because he doesn't have all of his abilities when he's first born, even though this goes back and forth with some canon. But in canon that I accept and that I've seen written, he doesn't get his teleportation powers until he's like an adolescent. However, he is born blue and furry, and I think a lot of that has to do with probably like being a second generation or third, or who God knows who Mystique's parents are, generation mutant. But it is like it's a rare thing for mutants. Like not a lot of mutants were like, the only other mutant I can think of other than like Nightcrawler adjacent mutants. Like obviously Nocturne was born that way, but like her father was. So like I know Madrox was born with his power, but otherwise I'm not 100% sure of many others, which is interesting.
I feel like there's a rule there that's being broken, right? That hasn't been explained. Like, how is that happening? Because I feel like especially with Kurt and Mystique, right? And then whoever Mystique's parents are, I think to learn more about Kurt, we have to see more of Mystique. We're going to have to see more of her past. Because we're not counting Azazel at this point, and we're waiting for Destiny to be fixed. We're waiting, Marvel. You're almost halfway there. But other than that, I think, we have to look more into Mystique, and also like I think they'd have to explore the possibility that they're more than just a mutant. Does that make sense? Like maybe there's another species that we don't know about that they fit.
So what I wanted to bring up is that Peter David actually handled this during one of his runs on X Factor. He said that initially mutants did have all their powers and abilities and physical deformities or however you want to characterize them at birth. But that didn't exactly lead to mutants sticking around very long, if I can put that delicately. So mutants evolved to have their powers come about at adolescence because that increased the chances that they would live to adulthood.
I love that.
And I think the term he used was a throwback or something like that to explain, which,
throwback mutants.
But yes, he used Madrox because again, that was one of the main characters in his run. There appears to be a spectrum, if you will, that some mutants come out, with blue and furry, and some mutants, wait till adolescence or whenever. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
It is, and it's kind of funny you say that because I mean, it's sad to talk about now, but it's not uncommon in nature that if you have a child or that is born deformed or whatever else, a lot of animals will abandon that child because survival of the fittest, right? And like it's not like in early human times we didn't do the same thing. And also, I mean, Kurt's whole backstory kind of lends to that because his mother threw him off a cliff as soon as she saw him. So like clearly it didn't end that long ago.
Yeah, I don't know. That is such a major inconsistency that I'd like to see dealt with more. I mean, I think even during the Krakoan era could be a good time to do it, especially with the emphasis that this era has been having more on like Sinister side of things and cloning and science and things like that. It could be a good way to explore that. Like, what if he had issues with making these new clones that were supposed or whatever they were supposed to see in Sins of Sinister, where he's going to use parts of Nightcrawler with other mutants' DNA. I wonder if that could have any play in terms of like, oh, well, this one's going to pop up immediately, but this one's abilities might not come later, but I'm going to mesh them together and see what happens. That would be really cool if they tackled that, but I doubt it.
Yeah, what's the? I think I've seen a picture of a Wagnerine, I believe is what the.
Of all the names they chose.
I'm a little iffy on this whole Sinister thing coming up, but that's just me.
Yeah,
well, it's probably not just me.
It's not just you.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this several times. I feel like the whole thing that's coming up with Sinister, it's like it's been done. The whole idea that they're going to use Kurt's DNA to make all these other characters. I mean, it's literally been done. So although I do enjoy that, like Nathan's finally like getting onto the Wagner DNA train. Like you've been on the Summers DNA train for how long? And it's like, like I mean, the Wagner DNA or the Wagner DNA train is clearly where it's at. So toot.
I can't deny that. I have no response to that.
That tends to be what we do on this podcast. We tend to leave people speechless, and sometimes it's for better, sometimes it's for worse. So
that's fair.
We'll take
so I'm going to ask for a little leeway on this one because again, we brought up the red guy that's supposedly canon. Kurt's dad right now. So again, give me some leeway here. If that guy actually is Kurt's dad, then what's Kurt's mutant ability? Because almost everything that he has that they've attributed to the character as a mutant ability theoretically comes from his dad.
No,
so it wouldn't make a good idea.
I mean, because that's something that I was thinking about when you first brought up the first inconsistency you mentioned. His mutant ability, if you think about it, is teleportation. Without a doubt, that is his mutant power. Kind of like how Logan's isn't how strong he is, or if it's his healing factor. It's not his claws, obviously. It's his healing factor. So I don't know. That's still a good question as to where the blue and the fuzzy and the tail and all that come from. That's just genetics, I feel like. Whether Azazel is his father or whether it's Mystique, because that's the thing. We don't know enough about Mystique. She could be the father, as Claremont intended, if they decided to retcon it, make Destiny the parent, and again, she can shapeshift into a form. She could have all kinds of genes we don't know about, right? Because she shapeshifted so many times, probably slept with more people than we even want to think about. I mean, Graydon Creed exists, like, which is very unfortunate, but
yeah, well, I mean, someone's got to be the black sheep of the family. So
listen, this is not slut shaming. It's just she slept with Sabretooth. Like, who does that? Not me, that's for sure.
Have you guys read the one shot about when Graydon Creed was conceived?
No, and that sounds horrible.
No,
yeah.
It's actually one of the decent things that Chuck Austin wrote. It's not a bad story. It's a little heavy-handed, it's a little silly, but basically where it comes from is like she's like disguised as Lenny, and she's like running away, and he tries to kind of insinuate that she's running away from the mob that was after her after she gave birth to Nightcrawler. Mm-hmm. And she runs into Sabretooth, and like they end up hanging out and becoming fuck buddies. And like Sabretooth like falls hard for her, is like legit in love with her. And she's just like, whatever. And I think she like tells him she's pregnant, and then immediately like calls the FBI or CIA or SHIELD or someone to like come arrest him. So it's a very Mystique story. Like, it's very like, this is a bitch who uses everybody to get what she wants.
Except again, like, everything comes back to, Destiny, right? Like, since now the marker, I feel like with Mystique is Destiny onward and before Destiny. And basically we know nothing before Destiny. Everything we know is Destiny onward, if we're talking about time-wise. So I'd be interested to see before Destiny what she was like, because we only know because now with Immortal X-Men #8, we got that slight additional background with her and Destiny and kind of how they met and things like that. Anyways, this is becoming a Mystique episode. I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, these things are going to happen when the two of you get together. That's true. So Lauren, you still think that even though Azazel has the teleportation, that teleportation is Nightcrawler's mutant ability?
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
If he's the dad again, I'm asking for a lot of leeway here.
No, yeah, I got you. No, I'm just saying. So if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, because if I'm honest, now I feel like I'm very shaken in the science of becoming a mutant, to be honest. But I think being a mutant can also, and again, if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but I think it can also be slightly genetic. So he could have also gotten that from his father, but that's still his mutant ability. It had to, if it had gone the other way, like you said, it would have emerged in adolescence. Instead, it emerged. Well, do we know when his teleportation emerged? Actually, I think that's a good question too.
Yeah, he was like a. Actually, what's funny is we're about to cover this when we get to the next 2 issues of Nightcrawler. Eventually, when we get there, but he, according to the canon I've seen, he was like 13, 14 years old, maybe 12 when he got his teleportation powers.
Ha! Mutant! That's his mutant ability. It came during adolescence. We're problem solving today, everybody.
I think, and the other thing too to consider is he also, what's the word I'm looking for? He does have some powers that are very specific to him that a lot of them haven't been used in a long time, like him being able to like blend into the shadows. Like in the beginning, it wasn't like it wasn't like he was just dark enough that he hid in the shadows and people didn't see him. It was literally like he became part of the shadows, and as like they even had like images of half his body was in shadow and his body had completely disappeared. So there's that. There's just wall crawling, because I don't think Mystique or Azazel are wall crawlers. So like there are things that the problem is, and I think this is the issue with just serialized media in general, is that every writer who comes along wants to put their stamp on certain characters and wants to kind of give you something interesting and exciting. And of course, not every writer is interested in every character, but certain writers, Chuck Austen, for example, right back then, take a specific like affinity to a certain character and want to do more with them, which then leads to these ridiculous stories of, the devil is the Catholic guy's dad. And, it's one of those things where, when you have, like, this is serialized media, like, I can't think of anything that has been, other than, like, the cartoons in the paper, which aren't really serialized for the most part, that has been going on as long as comic books. You're talking about these stories started in some cases in like the 20s and 30s and have been going on almost 100 years. I mean, the X-Men only started in 1963, but still, that's a very long time to be doing this serialized media and not expect any little hiccups and, things that don't work. It's one of those things, like Connor says, don't worry about it, right? I mean, you can't explain everything. If you try to explain everything, you're just going to go crazy. Just accept that everybody, there's a guy with laser beams that shoot out of his eyes. Everything else is relative.
I don't know.
So there's that.
Go ahead, Lance. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Lauren. No.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, you're absolutely right, Lisa, but that's kind of the fun of talking about this stuff and knowing that at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter which way the conversation goes, it's going to be what it is. And I think it's something that I've actually never really thought about as a Nightcrawler fan, because I don't think I've actually sat and been asked, what's his mutant power? And it been something that we can actually debate. It's like, oh, it's teleportation. And then, like Lance has pointed out this entire time, how do you explain the blue? How do you explain the tail? And then Lisa just pointed out, how do you explain the wall crawling, the camouflaging in the shadows, essentially? Like, all these different things. Are they skills that he got from a parent or was taught somewhere or what have you? Or are they actually his mutant gene that got unlocked? And honestly, I kind of love to sit down with like somebody in the X office today and like ask them that question and then have them like have to explain it, like, okay, so what's the ability? Teleportation. Okay, so why is he blue? Why is this happening? I'm not sure like you said, I'm not sure they could even answer it because it's been up in the air. So I think now, Lance, you're kind of unlocking this whole realm of Kurt that has been able to explore before. Like, it's been unlocked to explore, but I think people have kind of shut away and put away because they don't need to. You've kind of just brought that to the light, even for me. Like, we need to explore more. We still don't have enough information about Kurt. We don't have enough information about his parentage. We don't have information about Mystique. There's so much more to unlock. And then, Lisa, you also made me think, what's it going to be like when the X-Men turn 100? That's going to be the craziest year ever, y'all. Like, we're going to be losing our minds the entire year.
Oh, God help us. We're all still here. I mean,
God help us. They better be in the MCU by that point. I mean, for real.
Dear God, they wouldn't wait that long, would they?
Oh God, they better not. They better not. Listen, I've already got the torches and pitchforks. Give me a reason, Marvel. Just give me a reason.
I'll fly back up.
I'm only 2.5 hours outside of New York City, buddy. I'm coming. Okay, actually, that is not a real threat. Please do not send the FBI to my door.
But I think the fact that Nightcrawler's teleportation has always been brought up as his mutant ability speaks to the fact that maybe that A guy really isn't his dad. That if that is his mutant ability, then maybe a certain blue character is his dad. I don't know.
So I'm going to throw a wrench in that.
Don't. No wrenches.
I'm
Wait, you're disproving your favorite theory? Is that
No. I'm not disproving my favorite theory that Azazel is not his father, because he's not his father. Mystique is his father. I'm going to throw a wrench in the whole. Well, if his father can teleport, then teleportation is not his mutant ability. Because then, how do you explain Polaris?
Okay, but we've seen this both ways. When it comes to mutants, you've got Banshee and Siren, and
yes,
you've got Magneto and Polaris, but then you also, and of course, since I've gotten two that demonstrate that, I'm not going to be able to think of any other mutant parents that have offspring that have different abilities.
I mean,
but I know
Cyclops and Jean, literally all of their children.
Thank you, Laura.
Well, if you want to talk about children with different abilities, we can bring up my girl Nocturne, because Nocturne does not have any of the abilities her parents have.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yes. So I think you're rolling the genetic dice, and sometimes you get the same thing, and sometimes you don't.
Ew, what if it turns out that Azazel and Mystique are actually related, and that's why?
Don't start with that. It can't. Not every X-person needs to be related. We need to stop the madness. PSA, everyone. All writers out there, please stop the madness. We don't need to draw an L-word diagram. Maybe we'll do that on a live one day. I'll just start a diagram behind me with a big whiteboard, and while Lisa's like screaming and drunk, I'll just start connecting everybody to each other. That would be fun.
There is not a whiteboard big enough in
That's why it'd be a start. It would be a start.
You would get halfway through everybody Wolverine fucked, and you'd already be through 3 whiteboards.
Listen, it's already so easy with Kurt. Okay, if we're counting people that you've just dated, the second he connects to Rachel, he's with the Summers family. It's over. The whole board is going to explode.
That was a whole mess.
Wait, is this like a 6 degrees of Nightcrawler or something? Is that what we're talking about here?
That's a thing we do as well.
Yeah.
We have opened it up to the floor that anybody who wants to come and be a guest on our show, all we need to do is connect whatever you want to talk about to Nightcrawler within 6 degrees, and almost anything fits in it.
And that's what Lisa does. That's her superpower. That's her mutant ability she's got in her like perfect teen age. Obviously, she's a teen.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Obviously, yes, of course.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, that and my dinosaur Christmas sweaters. Those are my mutant powers.
Yes.
Nice.
Amazing. Yeah. Lance, what's another inconsistency that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I think another one that I wanted to bring up is that I didn't finish the story that ends in a D, or that starts in a D, that talks about Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Because I thought that was horrible.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to finish it.
I won't call it by name, because my theory is that anytime somebody calls that story by name, God kills a Banff, and nobody wants that.
No,
nobody wants that.
Oh, I've got a code word for us. We'll call it Malfoy.
I can't. Of course.
That's
works, like right? So close. It's like saying it. But it works. We'll take it. We could just call it Voldemort at this point.
Yeah, but Malfoy, Draco Malfoy, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it, but it's fine. It's fine. Continue, Lance. Sorry. This is what we do.
I've totally lost wherever I was going with that one.
It was about how you didn't finish reading the Malfoy, and...
I didn't. Because it just didn't make any sense, and I choose to ignore it. And I think we do need to somehow do the ret-con with the version of it that the two of you keep pushing.
Yeah.
With Mystique and Destiny. And I'm sure everyone has ways to correct that story. Do you two have your favorite way of how to retcon that, or how to fix it?
I do.
Oh, go ahead, Lisa. I was going to say, I want to hear yours, Lance, because I feel like we've talked about ours quite a bit on the pod. I'm very interested to hear another point of view that's not us just screaming, we're right, do it.
Yeah, actually, Lance, you tell us what your idea is first, and I'll tell you what mine was.
Okay, all right. So my version is that at some time in the past, Azazel learns of a prophecy where a teleporting demon, nice and vague, like something bad's going to happen to him. So he goes through all this work to alter reality to have it be a mutant that's about to be born to this lovely couple, and so the bad stuff is going to happen to Nightcrawler as opposed to himself. Or Destiny realizes that there's no way that her child can have a safe, happy life if she stays with them. So it's Destiny that goes out of her way to somehow alter reality so that nobody remembers that it's Mystique and Destiny's kid, and Nightcrawler goes off to have, his own, birth circumstance, and it just messes everything up, essentially.
Okay, you've put way more thought into this than we have.
Did I Lisa, speak for yourself.
No, I love it. I love both ideas. My idea was just being like, he's the devil. He fucking lies. It's literally, he's called the Prince of Lies. Like, and why'd Mystique lie? Would Mystique lie too? Yes, she lies all the freaking time. Like, you're taking the word of two people who, like, in history, both X-Men history and outside X-Men history, are known for their lies. So why are we listening to them? That's my whole, how do you fix it? So clearly not as well thought out as yours.
All right, Marvel, call me.
Well,
I'll write it.
I especially like it, and I think either way could work, but especially the second one for some reason spoke to me a bit in terms of, like, Destiny has really kind of had her own renaissance as a character with the Krakoan era, kind of like how Moira McTaggart did, and now she's just fucking evil. You know what's new. So I think that would add more layers to Destiny's character while she's still fucking evil, because that's the thing about Destiny, especially, is she's still fucking evil, but she always thinks she's doing the noble right thing when she does something, whether it's for mutant kind. And who's to say she wouldn't do that for, you know, her own biological child? Because Rogue's adopted, and she does love Rogue. Like, that is very clear. But I think also, I personally think she would hide, she would find a way to, like, hide the truth from Mystique. Like, she would implant memories, or have somebody implant memories into Mystique's head to think it was Azazel and stuff, so that Mystique wouldn't care about the child. So she would throw him off a cliff, right? Instead of keep it forever, and then the future that Destiny sees doesn't go the way it needs to. If Destiny sees, oh, she has to do this, or this is the way things have to be, she's going to make it so that Mystique doesn't have that conscience of, I can't do this to this child because it's Destiny's. Mystique doesn't care about children, but she cares about Destiny, right? So I feel like she would have a lot more care on Kurt if and when she ever found out, or it was realized that that was actually Destiny's child as well. Now, all of a sudden, she's like, Kurt, come here, kid. And he's going to be like, no, you want to play baseball with me. Like, some dumb shit like that.
I agree with that, because I think the biggest question that needs to be answered if you do the Destiny and Mystique retcon is, why would Mystique have gotten rid of him then? Because like that, you know, it's like, this if that's their child that she had with, like, literally the love of her life, like, there's no one else for Mystique that's above Destiny in her eyes. I find it really hard to believe, unless Destiny was involved and made it happen, that Mystique would just be like, I'm gonna throw this baby away. But, you know, who knows? Mystique's fucking crazy. So
I mean, well, it's also a big thing. I feel like bringing some queer context in there, I feel like it's even more of a big deal that if Mystique and Destiny had a biological child, they're two women technically. God knows of Mystique, right? We can learn about background there, but we're gonna just assume for now, like, they're both, you know, they both present themselves as women majority of the time. They're having a child. That's fucking huge. So I feel like that would be even more significant, even if, yeah, Mystique's a heartless bitch and she does what she wants majority of the time, and or for Destiny, and that's it. But that's still pretty significant. So I feel like, yeah, again, like, if we don't retcon, because that's the thing too, if we think about it, if we're retconning Azazel and all that, we can retcon the cliff scene. That can be gone. That's the thing we have to realize too, is that how far do we want to take this retcon? And if we want to, all that can be just bye. And honestly, I'm for that. Get rid of all of it.
Well, that's true. That's a good point, because the cliff scene only exists in Mystique's memories. It's not like it's something that anyone was there to witness. Like, Kurt doesn't remember, obviously. Mm-hmm. So it could be as simple as, you know, that didn't happen the way that they said, and maybe, like, they knew that they couldn't keep him, so they found him a family. I mean, there's a lot of different, you know, even like Margali has 1,000 different stories about how she found Kurt, like, and none of them are, like, make sense with the others. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think that there is a story where Margali's like, yeah, I found you Moses floating in the river. Like, no, it's, you know, I think one of the ones was like, I found you with your father who was dying and he told me to take care of you. And then another, like, there's all these different stories that she came up with. And, you know, not like, no, fucking Kurt Wagner, not a single woman in his life has been honest. Not a single one. Even his fucking girlfriend, who's his sister, lied about it. So, none of them are honest.
Can we retcon that too? Can we make it so that, like, somehow they're, I don't know, just, can we, like, if we're fixing stuff, let's definitely fix that. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, let's just do a whole slate. You know, let's just fix everything.
Lance is about to borrow your pitchfork and torch, Lisa, and march up to Marvel with a list.
I'm ready. But yeah, it's always bothered. Well, okay, I won't say it's always bothered me, because at first, Mystique was supposed to be with this German prince or king or whoever the heck he was, and that was supposed to be his parentage. But then when they introduced the whole Azazel thing, it's like, well, wait, so neither person who was there that night was who they were supposed to be? Like, why? Like, why do they have to layer complication upon lie?
Well, why would Azazel do that? That's the thing that doesn't make sense. Like, you just get to party in your little hell or whatever dimension that is. Like, why are you coming up here? And that doesn't make sense.
So that was actually explained in the Malfoy I understand we don't want to read.
But
like the whole thing was Azazel was creating children on this side of the plane in order to like use the children that he created to create a portal so he could bring his. It was so fucking stupid. I mean, like I'm losing brain cells just explaining it. But basically,
yes, but you defend the Austin run all the time in this, and I
don't give me started, Lance.
That.
She wants to talk about it more. She wants to talk about it more on this pod.
They're not a priest or like the mutant communion or whatever.
We're gonna retcon that too.
My brain hurts. My brain hurts. I'm sorry. I need a moment. Go ahead. Talk amongst yourselves.
Listen, I love the Austin run for the same reasons I love Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because it's a fucking disaster and everybody in it is crazy and they do crazy things. And I truly believe, I'm going to say it right now, I truly believe that one day I will have a podcast where I will have a bunch of friends on it and we will all do dramatic readings of the Austin run. Pardon me. I will play Lorna. We will start with Sacred Vows because that is so batshit off the wall crazy. Now, again, back in the early 2000s when I was reading the Austin run, as it was coming out, it was not as fun because it was happening in real time and all these changes were happening to these characters I loved. But looking back on it, it's just camp. It's just camp. It's just crazy camp.
But it's supposed to be canon camp. That's the problem.
I know, but canon is relative.
I think I like seeing that they're doing like different X-Men stories now. So like we have the current X-Men stuff, the canon, then we have X-Men Legends stuff happening, then we have something else. So I think honestly, it'd be cool, and maybe I'm going completely off the rails here, but I think it'd be cool to see like X books like merge off, like like X-Men AU books and stuff, where they just get to play around, where they get to do camp, where they can make a reality show on pages. Like, why not do that? Because clearly these writers want to do that with these characters, which I totally get. I'd love to see it. But like you said, Lance, not in canon. Do some AU shit. Make like an X-Men label. Like DC has Black Label they do all their crazy shit with. Let the X-Men have their own label and Marvel their own imprint where they just do crazy shit. They're their own universe anyway. Let's be real.
Can I just point out they did have that? It was called Exiles, and it was fucking amazing.
And they should do it again.
Read it, and they should do it again. And also, they did the Real Housewives / reality TV one with X-Static / X-Force, which was also fucking amazing. Both those books were absolutely amazing. So you know what, Marvel, I'm coming. Me and Lance, Lauren,
we're there.
We're on our way.
But just one last thing about the Austin run, isn't that when there were rumors that like Nightcrawler had 2 penises? Like, wasn't that a whole thing? Like, I'm sorry, I gotta throw that out there. Okay, like, I just got to.
We are gonna have to do a whole episode on this because
that's an After Dark episode. You can come back for, Lance, if you want. We'll have you back.
But long story short, the 2 penis thing does not. It is not canon. It does not come from a book. It literally was Chuck Austin did an interview when they were doing X2, and it's either on the DVD extras or something. Mm-hmm. He was doing an interview when they were doing X2 because he was the main writer of Nightcrawler at the time, and Nightcrawler was the big breakout character in that movie. Mm-hmm. So they were talking about it, and literally all he said, look it up, people. All he said was, Nightcrawler's got 2 fingers. You know what that means. And everybody's just taking it and gone crazy, like Nightcrawler's got 2 penises. He doesn't. Look up Dave Cockrum's porn. He has 1 penis.
Look up Dave Cockrum's porn. And you should. His porn is very good.
I actually listen, Dave Cockrum's son is out there somewhere. He's probably listening, probably not, but you should listen because I will pay good money to buy one of the Nightcrawler porns. So please get in touch.
I hope he's listening. He's our celebrity guest listener of the day.
Yes, he is. Dave Cockrum's son, whose name I can't remember. Ivan, maybe? I don't know.
Damn. I'm sorry, Mr. Cockrum Jr., sir.
Exactly. So, well, Lance, was there anything else you wanted to cover?
I think, I mean, we talked about Nightcrawler's penises, so, I think I'm tapped at that point.
Anytime that gets brought up, I'm filled with joy while Lisa wants to die. It's a great contrast.
It's just so dumb. It was a stupid aside someone made in an interview that has now somehow become fucking canon, and I don't understand it. People love to argue about it, and it's just like, it's just,
you know what? Maybe one of our lives next year will be we'll have our first like Kurt debate where like we'll have a couple people come on and you guys can bring your own points you want to debate and we'll just have fun.
I love that idea. And can I just point out that Chuck Austin was making the point that he's got 2 fingers, so maybe he's got 2 dicks, but like, take it the other way, guys. He's got 2 fingers, which is way less than 5 fingers. Maybe he's got no dicks.
What? No, Lisa, that's not fun. That's not the fun way to look at that. Absolutely not. Rejected.
I got nothing to respond to that with. I just, I got nothing.
I'm just saying. Listen, he doesn't need a dick to be great. I will still love him no matter what. But like,
I mean, he does still have the tail.
Exactly.
That is tea. And I don't know if you guys remember, Anna, our friend of the show, Anna, did post a comic cover of Nightcrawler, and it was all balls. So maybe there is no dick. I mean, I personally would prefer there be a dick because otherwise, where's Nocturne coming from? Maybe Sinister. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying, like, okay, it's between 0 and 1 dicks, no more.
It's between 0 and 1 dicks. I can't. Yeah, this has got to be a debate. We're going to have this. Those of you listening, if you want to come on a live one day to talk about this and debate with Lisa, because she gets very upset about this. It's very funny to me. Come join us. Let us know.
It is not hard to get me riled up. I am from
I had absolutely no idea when this podcast started that this is where it would end. I really didn't.
That is every single episode of Simply
beautiful.
Amazing.
That means we have done our job. Welcome to the chaos.
Exactly. Well, Lance, thank you so much for coming and bringing on this amazing topic. I honestly did not know what to expect either, and I'll tell you what I didn't expect, dick. So, this is the one time I'm pleasantly surprised by unexpected dick. So, usually it's a little bit more of a like, swipe left.
How did this become more of a dick episode than the tail episode? Like, I know they're different features, but like, how?
Girl, you know why. Come on. You know why. Because any chance. Anyway, guys, Lance, again, thank you so much for joining us. Tell everybody out there where they can find you. I don't know that they can find me. I don't really have that much of a presence out there. Can I? Is it okay if I bring up another friend's podcast though?
Yeah,
sure,
is that okay? Okay. My friend Mark and Emily have a podcast called We Can Do This All Day, where they review MCU movies. So give that a shot. I think their latest episode, they talk about their 5 saddest MCU moments, so maybe not the best one to start with, unless you got the tissues nearby for the sad moments. But yeah, give it a shot.
I'll watch it because I guarantee you that Vision dying is one of them, and I'll just fucking eat some popcorn.
If Tony Stark dying is one of them over literally everything that happened in Wakanda Forever, which, to be fair, if they recorded it before Wakanda Forever, fine, I guess, but also, like, no, absolutely. You know what? We have to listen to that now.
Okay.
We'll have to get them on the show and debate.
We're going to have a new podcast coming up. It's going to be called We Can Get Angry About What We Talk About All Day. So that's
all day. Yes, all day.
All day. Exactly. Well, everyone out
great,
there,
though.
Right? Thank you guys all for joining us for another absolutely fantastic episode of Simply Amazing. And we were so happy to have Lance here with us to give us some amazing things to talk about. Lauren, tell them where they can find you, girl.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDBI. If you hate Twitter, like a lot of people seem to, which is valid, I'm on Hive. I'm still trying to figure that out. It's still kind of slow, but it's pretty. It's rainbow, so it feels gayer. I don't know. But I have the same handle there, so you can find me on Hive if that's more your suiting. I do a show on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, Your Friendly Neighborhood Comic Show. So you can pop on there. We have a Discord, so you can find that through the channel, or you can find that on the Twitter for that as well. And also, if you are a Kurt fan and you're not part of the Nightcrawler Discord, I don't know why you aren't, but you should join. So I'll make sure to put that in the description of this episode for you guys, so you can click that invite and join the party. It's a lot of fun.
Amazing. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys again so much for joining us for another fantastic episode of Simply Amazing. And we need to let everybody know officially we are going to be doing our live. We have planned it. It is ready to go. I'm so glad I looked at the date because I had it wrong in my head, but it is December 2nd at 8 p.m. Wait.
You're blowing out someone's ears right now. That poor person.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, we are so excited. We're going to be giving away a hand-signed first issue of Excalibur by Chris Claremont. We have lots of other stuff we're probably going to give away. I don't know. I've been making all these fucking charms. The most recent one I made had Nightcrawler on one side and Wolverine eating a banana on the other side.
I love it.
Maybe we'll give away those.
I love it. Speaking of dick, the banana's there. It's good enough. It's good enough. I can say I do have 2 pieces of Kurt art we'll be giving away that I have. So that'll be exciting. They're from some artists you guys might know too. So excited to give those away to y'all.
Yeah, one of them, his name is Lisa, and it's a stick figure. No, it's actual real art by real people. So come join our live December 2nd. It's going to be on Twitch. If you want all the information, go check out our website. Go check out our Twitter. That's where all the information is going to be. We are on our website is simplyamazingpod.com. All of our socials are there. You can find all the information. That's how Lance signed up. Even though he met Lauren before, he did sign up through the website. And if you guys if anyone out there wants to talk about anything Kurt related, like we'll literally talk about anything, clearly. And be forewarned, because whatever you decide you want to talk about, it will get to dicks. So, just be aware of that.
It will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lance
I can
knows.
attest to that. Yes.
Yeah, Lance knows. So if you're out there wondering what's going on and what to do, well, come join us on December 2nd. There's no reason not to. It's going to be a great time. And if you also are out there setting up your Christmas tree or your Hanukkah menorah or doing whatever you like to do for the holidays, well, welcome to December, baby. We're going to have a good time, and you are simply amazing.